Well, hello and welcome to today. It's Art and Wellness Wednesdays, and I've literally just got back, and so I'm having a cup of tea, and I thought I would touch base with you and just kind of touch on a few things and see how you are. I really do feel that, and I probably said it a number of times, that the way that we look at art and creativity, we have to look at it like the air we breathe. You go, when you wake up in the morning and you do whatever your routine is, that art and creativity is part of your routine. And obviously I bias towards the visual arts, although I do appreciate the rest of the arts that fall under the banner. But for the purpose of this recording, and for my podcast listeners as well, when I talk about the arts, it's visual arts because I'm a mixed media artist. And so there is something that needs to be done, that you need to be doing creatively each and every day. Now, if you're a beginner or new to the visual arts and you would like to maybe navigate your way through, check out my art YouTube channel, Realityarts, and I've got lots of tutorials, lots of things where I talk about different aspects of my work and show you how to do things. So some of the playlists are on art journals, recycle projects, doodling. So there's a whole range of things that you can kind of dip in and out of. And if there's something that you'd like to know, if something kind of sparks your interest and you'd like to know more, then do leave me a comment on the vast array of different platforms that I'm on, and I will see to it that I either make a video, respond to you in some way. So I've got some videos that I've got to make of my creative process and different things that I've been working on that I'd love to be able to show you even more. And if it's something that you'd like to get into, then what better way to find out about it by somebody else doing it and showing you how to do it. And what I like to do is to look at things that you can substitute. So where, for instance, say if you were making say a recycled canvas, so there's ways in which you can do that. You can create a canvas from cardboard, from different fabrics that you may have, and stretch it. So there's different things or different ways in which you can approach something, and that's what I like to look at, because whilst I can follow recipes, and I do follow recipes, and I like to add my own spin on it, my own spice. I guess you get to a certain age where I'm not saying you can never learn anything more. I think you can always continue learning, and my 96-year-old mother is still learning, and even with living with dementia, she can learn, and people who are living with dementia can learn. So that's another thing to touch on with the arts and wellness. But some of the videos that I do, a lot of the videos that I do, I'm showing you how to do something, but I'm also saying, well, if you don't have this particular supply, you can use this or utilize this. There are some that you can't kind of substitute. Well, actually, if it's a particular brand. So if I say, I think the thing that popped in my head was Inktense pencils. Now they are a beautiful watercolor pencil. I'm not sure whether you can see. No, you can't see, it's out of shot. But they're a watercolor pencil, and they're heavily pigmented, pigmented, and they're absolutely my favorite. So it not only works on canvas, paper, fabric, it's one of those watercolors that has got multiple uses and is very vibrant. So if I am saying using that, now I haven't found anything yet that can substitute for that. But if the project just calls for a watercolor pencil, anything will do, depending on what you're doing. So take a look at some of the art videos. We're being blessed with the sunshine, and that's one of the things that I think they were saying, you know, in terms of your health and well-being and vitamin D, and how vitamin D, obviously we need vitamin D, sunshine vitamin, you can't get as much as you need from your foods, and so you have to be out in the sunshine. So for those of you who haven't yet got your exercise routine sorted out, and also, you know, trying to social distancing, and you're going through a curfew, then you have to think about, you know, when are you going to get your exercise? When are you going to take time to go out and make sure you can get into the sunshine? If you're living in a climate where it's not sunny yet, you know, even just daylight, just going out and exercising, and if you have to supplement, then you have to supplement. But where I am here, it's very bright at the moment, and the sun's setting over there, so every now and again it's going to get really bright and, you know, just heat up the side of my face. But yeah, so exercise, daily arts and creativity activities, and another one of the oh yeah, before I get onto that, the reason why I'm so late today is because I went out to pay a bill. Now, I went out to the store, and for those of you in Barbados or around the Caribbean who, well, I think they're around the world actually, SurePay. I've never seen them in the UK or the States, I'm not sure anyway. So the line, not only it went out of the store, and this was just for SurePay, there was one lady there. So the line went out the door, and normally it's the SurePay line is the shortest, and the one for the shop is, you know, is the long line. But today, and I'll touch on for those of you who say, well, why don't you just pay it online? Just hold that thought. So was in the line for SurePay, and Alan went into the line for the supermarket. That supermarket line just moved like speed, and 2 twos, he was in the shop. So after he'd actually gained entrance to the mall, this is before he got into the shop, I thought to myself, this line hasn't moved at all. So then I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to go into the supermarket and just pick up a few things. Well, no, I said I'm going to go into the supermarket, and he's probably not yet got into the supermarket, and I can just say, oh, you know, we'll just get a few extra things. When I got in there, he was at the till paying. So I was just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to nip round. But the SurePay line hadn't moved. So when I got back out now, after I'd spent, you know, about half an hour wandering around the aisles, and it's just like that kind of, it's the being told you can't do something and you really miss it. It's just like, oh gosh, you know, just wandering around. I didn't touch everything, so normally I'd like pick up something, you know, pick up stuff, and oh, you know, look at that. And in an art shop, it'll be just like, I'm all over everything. It's just like, oh, because I pick up the thing, and I might be saying, oh yeah, oh, I could use this for, yeah, and I could use that for that project and that project, and then I'll pick up another thing. Oh, is that what it is? Oh, I wondered, you know. So in an art shop, I could be touching everything up, so I'll probably need to wear gloves in an art shop. Anyway, so by the time I came out of the supermarket, the line still hadn't moved. I think one person had gone in, and then when I looked, the security guy was right at the top of the store, and I was thinking, oh, I could just quickly slip into the line for the SurePay to pay your bills. But then, you know, what if I'm cool? I'm a good girl. I am. I'm a good girl. I am. So I came out. So then we went off and did other shopping, because it's our day today. Our surname starts with S. So S to Z can go out between 1 and 4 o'clock. So we went and did our shopping and came back home, And then I looked at the bill and it was just like, oh, I can go to the water bill. We can go to the water authority and pay there because it says so on the bill. And it says another place. Oh, so before I did that, I went and went online. So putting in all the details and press finish, complete. I've done all the details, put my bank details in there. And then they come up with this page saying you've got to print this off and then you've got to post it, and then they will send you an email confirmation which you have to reply to before you can pay online. So that's for you guys who were thinking, why don't you pay online? So then I was just like, okay, let's go to the water authority because you can pay there as well. Went to the water authority, drove all the way there. It's like 15 minutes away and it's now like 3 o'clock, 3:15. Okay, they close at 4:30, so we're in time. Go down there, there's a big sign, closed to the public from the 6th of August. Then it's just like, okay, the supermarket that I was at queuing up this morning, early this afternoon, it looks like the lines have gone down now, so let's go down there. So go in, queue up, the lines are outside the door, so I'm thinking, okay, well, at least, you know, it's not as bad as it was when I came earlier. Standing there for half an hour, a lady comes out and says, you know, it's 3:45 now and we're going to close at 4 o'clock. So sorry. And it was just like, so I said to her, you know, can't you just stay open at like a half an hour extra? And she was just like, no, because the shore pay is separate from the supermarket. And, you know, there's just one girl there, really, one girl who's processing all these payments. It's just like, knowing that some of the other stores, so the other shore pay places are closed, why don't you have 2 people working there and get through everything a lot quicker? So I was just like, it's 2:15, there's at least 25 people in front of me and there's probably another 6 people in the actual store waiting to be served. And she was just like, there's no way we can even see. I mean, these people are still standing here, but there's no way we can see all of them. So I was just like, I came home. Only to read in the newspaper that the minister, is it the minister for the, or is it the water? He's the minister, I can't remember what he's the minister for, but he was talking about the water authority and how because of COVID-19, people haven't been paying their bills. And it's just like, if you had the drama that, it wasn't really drama, but if you had the going backwards and forwards and the amount of petrol it cost us to go to the supermarket, try and pay. Tried to pay online, couldn't. Went to the store, spent at least half an hour, 45 minutes waiting, couldn't pay it. Then went to the water authority, couldn't pay it. Went back, was told it's too late now, there's not enough time to process everybody, so I couldn't pay it. So there are people who are willing to pay their bill but just can't get to the stores because they're closed, and the nearest, and this isn't about arts and wellness, but it's about, I'm really concerned about what you are doing on your day-to-day. And just to finish this off, because just thought I'd have a little moan here, because anyway, but it's just like, yeah, people want to pay their bills, but it's getting to the place, you know, how much does it cost me to try and pay this bill on top of my bill, and I still haven't been able to pay it. And I can't go back out now until Saturday between, I think it's 9 and, or 8 and 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah, to see if I can pay it. And there's no guarantee that when I go to these places that there's not going to be big queues, because other people are waiting to pay, and these people who weren't able to pay, who was in the line with me, obviously their surnames begin between S and Z, so you know they're still waiting themselves. What a palaver, eh? One thing I thought to myself I need to do, because whenever I go out, and especially when you're going out and you're going into queues, and it's just like, this is what I used to do, especially when I looked after mum, and I used to take her to her appointments, because you were always waiting, was to either carry a book or carry a notebook so I can be writing notes. I had my phone there, but it was just like, I really wanted to give my eyes a break from the screen. So maybe having a book, just pop a book in my bag, and then I could just sit there and stand there and read it, or even, you know, have a little chair that you can, but just to have something that I can be, you know, there's so many books that I want to read, that why not read it? So that's something that, you know, maybe you do that already. And if you've got any other tips or suggestions for things that you do while waiting in these queues, if you're having to stand up long and wait, depending on where you are and depending on how the situation is for you, please do pop it down into the comments, because, you know, it will help all of us if we're kind of sharing our ideas. But the other thing is, I think that's really important, is that you have a routine. And I did six different tips that, you know, in terms of this particular time, what you may, or what you know, things that you could think about doing, having a routine, connecting with, you know, family and friends, starting something new, learning something new, you know, reconnecting with something that you used to do, staying healthy, getting some exercise, and, you know, keeping your mind active. And I think it's really important that we really do at this time think about those people who may have been isolated before, and this time, at this particular time, you know, where they may have got the odd person or the postman. I mean, I haven't seen the postman for a while now. All he does is bring me, all he's been doing is bringing me bills, but, you know, I don't even think, you know, I haven't seen any kind of, you know, I haven't seen the mailman at all on his little motorbike. But it's, again, really important, and I will drum this and I will say this time and time again, that you have activities that you do throughout the day. It isn't that you just get up and nothing. That, you know, if you weren't, if what you used to do was get up and go out to work, then, you know, think about all the things that you've always wanted to do but wasn't able to do because of time constraint. And if, you know, obviously if you're a one of the first liners on the front line, then, you know, obviously your time is a lot limited, but you have to make sure that you take care of yourself, and that you're getting rest, and that you're eating right. And I think for most people now, they're able to get shopping in, and there isn't, you know, many people. Again, you've got people who are living below the breadline. So those people who weren't even eating well or had enough money for food, what's happening to them, who, you know, relied on either the charity of others or the little job that they were able to do and can no longer do it? You know, what's happening to them? So think about, you know, in your surplus, or if you've got in your abundance, you know, even if it's, you know, putting together a little food parcel, or a I don't know, you could call it, not a food parcel, but call it something where you would also put in it like a little activity that you may have, like, I don't know, pack of cards, or, you know, write a greetings card with just, you know, whatever you've got, you know, that you can share with somebody else who is vulnerable, who is isolated, then, you know, see what you can put together. And, you know, just make sure that you're staying healthy. And for a lot of us who, I mean, for my routine, it's business as usual in the sense that what I post, the work that I'm doing online, that continues, and I tried this weekend, the weekend just gone, to give myself, to ease up and not be like on the computer from 9 o'clock till 8, 9, you know, with breaks in between, but to really, the way that I differentiated the day was to do some reading, do some other things. I did a little bit of the computer work, but then, you know, I came away, I spent more time kind of just outside. I did a lot of work that I've got in the garden. You know, I've got so many projects to finish, and just things that I wanted to do, things I want to reread or read or organise. So there's a plethora there's a plethora of things that I can be getting on with. So I'm never bored, never like twiddling my thumbs thinking, oh, what should I do, if I've not got a video to edit or photos to edit or, you know, courses to edit and, you know, sort out, or posts to do, to share. It's just, yeah, it's ongoing. So if you don't have that, then you have to put structures in place so that, you know, Mondays can be, okay, on Monday I know that I'm doing this. Or if you were activity based and a lot of your activities were that you were going outside, and obviously now you can't, think about things around the home, think about things that you can fix, think about, you know, for a lot of people, and for us now, we've got the hardware stores open. So, you know, for those people who want to buy, you know, whatever things they need to finish projects, and I've got a stepping stone project that I want to do. I've got ties to turn inside out and plant up. I've got seedlings that need to go out that are coming up that I've planted. I've got some pumpkin. And I'm not sure whether I told you, I've got some red Mexican sunflowers. So I'm really excited. And about, how many seeds did I plant? About 20 of them are coming up, so I've got to put them, I've got to thin them out basically, and I can't wait until they start flowering. I'm really looking forward to that. But as I say, you know, continuing to make sure that you look at your schedule, look at things you need to do, that you want to do, connect with others. Remember, there are people who are homeless, who have nothing, who had nothing, and now, you know, who, small businesses who didn't get any aid, who had staff, the staff who've had to, you know, been made redundant, or who've just been sacked because, you know, and just think about what you do. There may be ways in which you can work differently now. For those people who working from home was never an option and now is, think about how you can approach what you do in a different way, with a different mindset, with different tools, looking at some of the tools that are available that you may be able to utilize. And I always encourage, if you want to, you know, share what you're doing, to make a video. And, you know, try something new. And, you know, there is much room for many more. So just step out and do what you need to do. So I think I'm going to end it there. What was I working on today? I'll show you something. I'm still working on the fabric projects. And what I do is I've got like about 7 or 8 going at the same time, and I'm moving them on gradually. And this particular one that I was working on today, I've still got the needle in there. I was just adding beading. So there's something, and I've got to talk about them. I'm going to be talking about them and maybe doing some, you know, just brief tutorials on how to kind of put something like this together. It's very easy and very, I call them my, you know, what do I call them? Therapeutic. Meditative stitches or something like that, but it's very therapeutic. And using the beading, you know, there's a whole lot of beading going on, and that's the back. I've always when I see certain projects, I always want to see how the back looks, but I've started doing some very fine stitching here along the side. I wasn't gonna, but I just felt drawn to, and I'm going with the things that I need to do based on what inspiration is hitting me. The last thing I did, I'll show you this. I made some fabric beads. Oops, sorry. There, so it's the beads with beads and burlap and fabric, and it's kind of colour coordinated as well. So I really like these, and they are utilising, if you want to have a look, and I will do a tutorial on this, the plastic straws. So plastic straws have been outlawed. So what happens to all those plastic straws that were out there? So I've got about 30, I think, that I must have brought at a charity, not a charity store, I brought it at like the dollar store. Forgetting my tea. I brought, yeah, a packet, and they just sat there, but they make really good, the insides of the fabric beads. So that's what I'm working on, and I'm also working on, I want to do a project with the scrap fabric, so I've got loads of, and that's probably for another time, but this, I've got this pile over here, and let me just show you. I'm not going to show you the individual projects. So there's these, they're small fabric projects, and then I've got all of these, and then I've got more sitting in another drawer container. But what I'm doing is, as I say, I'm working my way through them and getting them each to the next level, until I've got to the stage where actually what you need now is your backing. Every time I think, okay, it's time for the backing, it's just like, nope, we're going to do another line of beads or some more stitching or whatever it is. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing in the studio and trying to tidy up. And as I say, look at, I've got a variety of different projects that I want to work on or want to finish. I've got, I'll show you this. This is another... it's going to be a sculptural loom, and this wood is river tamarind, and all I've done is strip the bark, and then I dried it out and varnished it, and so this is now waiting for the threads, and then I'm going to do a weave on it, so I'm looking forward to that. Oh my gosh, let me just show you this one last thing. Look at these beauties. This is moringa wood, and I did a video on harvesting wood from the garden. So the moringa wood is one of the best woods to use like this, because it's really light and it doesn't take long to dry out, and when you're doing the wood burning on it, it's really easy to, you know, it's because it's so light, you don't have to leave it on for very long. Unlike this wood, let me show you. Unlike this wood, which is the, I will put the name, but I call it, it's like a orange blossom. But it's not orange blossom, but it's quite a dense, it's hardwood. It's not as hard as a mahogany, but what I like about this particular one is that it's really smooth, and I'm not sure how I like the varnish on it, but you need to protect it. But when you're doing the wood burning, it's not as easy to leave the marks as it is. I really love them, so I'm going to make some more of these. I haven't yet decided what they are, but I love them. They're so like chunky, and I've got to finish varnishing these. Which one? Does this one need varnishing? No, this one was done. Yeah, but I love it. I love it. So you see, I'm kind of jumping from one project to the next because I love making things, and I get a spark of inspiration. It's just like, okay, let's do this. Let's get it done. Because do you know what will happen? You could say, oh, I really want to do X or Y. And you say, oh no, but I can't do it now because there's no time. And then you never do it. And for me, it's important to like even make a start. Like, as I said, you know, I had harvested the wood, dried it out, cut it up. And then what I did day before yesterday was all the bits of wood, not every single piece of wood that I'd cut up, I have either varnished it and cut it so that it can make one of these. I've got 2 more this size to make. I've got some smaller ones here as well. Got some smaller ones here as well. So these have all got to now have the thread on them, and then because I had all of these pieces of wood, it was just like they need wood burning. So I just spent the morning, you know, doing some wood burning on these, and yeah, as I say, I really love the way they've come out. So then I varnished them. They've just got the last bit of varnish to do, because when I was holding it, I was just like, okay, painted the varnish on, and then, okay, let's leave that to dry. And so then what I've got to do, finish varnishing, and then decide what it's going to be. So I'm thinking it's going to be, what these will probably be is, for these wall hangings, these mini wall hangings that I've made, they'll probably be the wood that they hang from. But the jury's out at the moment, so I'm not sure. Maybe, we'll see. Anyway, but I'm going to leave it there. So thank you for hanging out with me, and do remember every week we're doing Arts and Wellness Wednesdays. Next week I will bring out the episode a lot earlier, and do let me know what you're getting up to. I love seeing the kind of stuff that you're working on. If there's anything that I've shown you or talked about that you want more information, then leave a comment below. If there's some tutorials, like look at some of the ones that I've done. If there's some that you'd like to see based on, you know, some of the ones that I've done, then again, leave a comment. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and you will be notified of any other videos. My gardening channel, check that out, see what's going on in my tropical garden paradise. It's really dry at the moment. We've had about a spit of rain. It's just like, you see these big clouds coming over the place, and normally, see, I think there's something up with this, yeah. Normally when you see these the big dirty clouds, like, you know, hovering over, and it would normally pour with rain, they're just like heading over, and sometimes you'll have a little and that's literally it, a spit of rain. I think the other day there was like a teaspoon, that was it, and I was just like, what's going on? These plants need watering, the grass is brown now, so come on. Anyway, so as I said, thank you for joining me. I look forward to chilling with you next week. Remember, Friday is inspirational shorts. I can't remember what I've got some more reviews to show you, some art supplies. I really do want to get onto some of the books, so in the next few weeks we're going to be starting on the books and reviewing some of them, and I'll probably do this one first. Creative paint workshops. I really like it, and I was glad it's got quite a big section on encaustic, so I'm learning more about encaustic art and looking at the materials that I have and how I can incorporate it. I've got some, I did say yes last week, I've got some liquid wax, beeswax paints, so I'll maybe experiment with that and see what kind of effects I can get on, say, a canvas or wood. It does suggest wood. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Be interesting to see how the moringa wood takes paint, and even this encaustic paint, I've got some branches to cut which are a lot thicker, maybe about this thick. So maybe I'll see how we do with that. Anyway, let's go, and I will speak to you soon. Take care for now, stay blessed, and be a blessing. Bye.